Okay, moving right along here. Our next item is to receive a report on preparation for El Nino winter storm season.
Vice Mayor, members of council, Jim Birch here tonight to provide some information and update regarding our city's response and plans for possible storm events related to El Nino. Over the past few months, we've had several meetings and we've gathered information related to El Nino, and we've also fielded lots of questions from the public regarding our plans. El Nino, as you may know, we're already in the middle of an El Nino cycle. And what we've been told is that basically means that we should expect above average rainfall. The latest predictions are that it's going to start in January and go into the springtime. So I thought by way of explanation, I could probably go over what we did last year in December and how we prepare routinely for storm events. Starting 2 or 3 days before the event, and in particular December 11th, about December 7th or 8th, Ted and I will begin an argument about whose prediction is better than the next. But we'll look at National Weather Service, we'll look at NOAA websites, and we'll look at the local radar and forecast to try to determine how intensive the storm's going to be, and then we'll track that over a few days to see which ones are more accurate than others, and that'll help us prepare for staffing and the lead up to the event. And in particular, December 11th, actually Ted made the decision, a good call about who was going to come in, how many people, and what time. We thought that the storm was going to come in early. We look at things as such as when the tide's going to be highest, and that will also play into our plans. So we had staff deployed at 5 o'clock in the morning on the 11th, and the storm hit at 6:20 or so. And so we had people in the field, and what we anticipated was lots of debris getting caught on catch basins and water not being able to get into the storm system. So we were ahead of the curve, so to speak. Months prior to that, we had catch basin cleaning going on and an inspection of the system. We had deployed a second street sweeper in anticipation of the wet weather, and we'll do that again this year. But I want you to know that Ted in particular and the storm staff are used to these kinds of things, and one of the things that we did December 11th that was also successful was coordinate at a higher level, I think, than normal with our community services, with engineering, with PD, and with fire, especially in the communication end, to try to make sure we weren't duplicating efforts, that we were gathering information and responding in an appropriate way, that sandbags were being deployed at the right time. Fire was really instrumental in letting us know when they needed things. But all that pre-planning, we met this year, tried to determine how do we improve on our plans and our efforts from last year. And so one of the things we did was have an exercise, Emergency Operations Center on the 17th. We all got together, representatives from all of the city departments were represented there, and went over what we would do if it was a really bad event that lasted 2 or 3 days. Massive flooding, maybe landslides, those kinds of things. How would we communicate? How would we respond? And how would we get staffing, that might have to go more than 24 hours? And we discussed all those kinds of things. We've also put together maps that we could hand out to different folks, community services, parks, the tree folks, engineering. We'd all be working off the same map, so to speak, and we would know where the trouble areas were. We could deploy staff in areas and be organized. We also reached out to JPB and tried to get more information from them. As you know, we had some flooding on San Bruno Avenue last December, and it was pretty bad. We had a hard time finding out responsible parties, so we've got emergency contact information this year, and we've got assurances from them that they've got their systems up and running, and they've been upgraded and maintained so that they will work this time. We've been assured of that, and then we have their quick response team if for some reason there's a malfunction. So that's an improvement. Also this year we've added a fourth sandbag station at City Hall. It's a self-serve station, so we have a self-serve station at the courtyard. We've got pre-made sandbags available at the courtyard, and we've got pre-made sandbags available at the fire station. And this year we've added a self-serve station so that if any of those stations run out, at least people will have an outlet, a resource that they may not have otherwise. We were one of the only cities on the peninsula that had sandbags available on December 11th, and other cities were actually sending people our way, and that, I think that's an indicator of how serious our staff takes the pre-planning phase of going into storm season. So, one of the things I think that's unique about this year that we've planned for is that if the event is severe enough, some of our parks folks, we've been coordinating with them, they would actually report to the courtyard, and leadership from community services and parks would be deployed to the courtyard, and we'd set up a little operations center there. That way we can handle the information. A lot of times we get duplicate requests for service, and that'll help us coordinate a little bit better. Our parks folks and community services folks can help us in some of those roving patrols that were successful during December 11th. And also out of that location, we can coordinate with engineering, and they can go look at maybe infrastructure that's damaged or possible landslides. So we think that's a good model. If it runs a little longer, we'll actually stand up a full-blown EOC and run that out of City Hall at EOC. And the other thing I think was very successful last year was the information. We coordinated really well with all the different departments, fire, PD, community services, engineering, and the courtyard to get information to not only the city manager's office, but other city staff so that they knew what was going on literally 15, 20 minutes whenever there was some event that was going on. We got information out as quick as we could so that if you folks get questions or the questions come into city staff, that there was a constant stream of information that people could rely upon, and they knew what we were doing out in the field. Or if they didn't know, they knew an update was coming. And we've fine-tuned that a little bit more, and we plan on doing that, continue to do that. So with that, I think that's the update I have. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you for the report. Any questions?
Through the chair.
Ken first.
Thanks for the report. I've been anticipating this and hearing about it. I have a good friend that's a roofer, and he's expecting Armageddon. And I was here in 1997. I was newly appointed on the city council, and unfortunately we had some pretty bad things, a couple of landslides. But for the most part, the city was handling things, and being a member of the Lions Club, we actually saw that there was some help needed at the sandbag stations, and we helped fill sandbags and actually deliver. Actually was helping some friends up in Crestmore Canyon, watching some of the canyon erode away. So I'd like to see if there's something that, some outreach to the community. If there's volunteers that want, like organizations or even just residents who want to be involved in helping. Obviously, you don't want to have residents just doing whatever they want, and we want to have some organization. But in some cases, you can't be everywhere all the time. And there are some areas that there's, whether it's just watching that one catch basin and making sure that, it stays clear, or whether it is having groups come down to the sandbag stations and make sure that there is adequate supply, and possibly helping a business, deliver some, to save their store, because San Mateo Avenue is going to get hit hard, no matter what. And so, I'd like that kind of outreach to see, because we care too, and we want to help out, and we know that you're going to be, stretched. So consider that. Thank you.
Through the chair. I'm impressed with all the preparation, I know you guys do it all the time, and also and I'm sorry, I forgot where this was. So you did like a checklist of how people can prepare themselves, because as Ken said, you can't be everywhere all at the same time. So I hope people access this and really pay attention to it. It's what do you do for your house, the food, the clothes, all those things you should have, even just for an earthquake, not just for El Nino. I have a question, though, about the county and the pump station, the storm drain pump station, at 7th Avenue. Have we made contact with them and made sure we're all coordinated with them as well?
We have. Over the summer, we actually met with the county at least once or twice, and they've done some work on the pump station. I would stop short of saying that it's in pristine condition, but they are aware of the issues. They have done some maintenance on the pump station, and I think it's in a lot better shape than it has been in quite a few years from what our staff tells us.
Okay, do we need to contact them again, push them from a different way? Have Jimmy answer the question.
Yes, if I can add a little bit up. The county reached out to us to let us know what they have done at the 7th Avenue, the pump station. They've upgraded the VFDs, or variable frequency drives, for the pumps,
Okay.
and so they've made some improvements already to prepare themselves for this the winter season.
Okay, so we have a number, and
Yes.
you've done, okay, thank you.
The Chair, I'm kind of on just what Irene was saying, because I understand the JPB is going to take the lead, and it was bad. No other way to it. And I know they're going to take the lead, and we're available to assist if needed. And they've given assurances. And I'm kind of a trust but verify. I mean, how do we know the pumps are really working? Because we've been ongoing with them for a long time. What we experience down there, I would hope we can try to avoid. We only have so much control. I mean, one of the Public Works folks were telling me, honestly, what would help too is if we as neighbors who have the trees would rake in front of our house. And if we want to go down to the corner and help clear the drain, obviously the green container is picked up weekly. Just that in itself can help, so that we all can try to do our part a little bit as well. But with what Irene was asking, I guess I don't know what else you can do to make sure, but I guess I'm concerned. I hear what you're saying. If it was just you telling me this, it's fine, but we're counting on them, and I get a little nervous. That's all.
Can we elaborate on the flyer that was included? The flyer that was included in the packet, how that's going to be distributed or posted?
The flyers will be made available at the various different, at City Hall, Community Services Department, at the Rec Center as well, and residents will be as well as with the city's website.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And where on the website? Will that be on the main page or on your Public Works area?
We would, since it's a pretty hot topic, so we would likely put it on the main page.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And one last question. Regarding SMC alerts, do we have a mechanism for feeding into that system to generate alerts for the residents?
We do, and we have a protocol for how alerts are posted. That's something that staff will be reviewing a little bit more internally in order to make sure that we're on that, and we can make sure that the storm information is, as necessary, timely posted both to the website in real time as well as to SMC Alert.
Great. Thank you very much.
Through the chair, I just want to make one more comment. Can we make sure that this is the list that you've done? It's really great. If it's printed up and put here in the senior center, I know there's some seniors who don't have the computer access, and maybe some in the library as well. Thank you.
Through the chair, I'd like to propose expanding even on that. It seems like it could be something, a back-to-back flyer, and possibly consider distributing at the schools and at the Chamber of Commerce. because the business owners are going to want to hear about this stuff also. And also, even with the schools, if we can have some good cooperation and dialogue with the school districts, because I remember when the schools closed on December 11th, so there's going to want to be some communication there, I'm sure. And so as long as we're on the same page, I mean, the parents may even call the city. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yep, great suggestion. Thank you. Okay, any more comments?